Today, we are diving deep into Windermere, Florida. You know, it's one of those addresses that just sounds exclusive. And with insights from a top local realtor, Bernard Jackson, we're going to pull back the curtain. We'll look at the data to see what really makes this place the absolute pinnacle of luxury, lifestyle, and investment here in 2025. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll explore that Windermere mystique. What makes it so special? Then we'll decode the dollars, because you know it's not cheap. After that, we'll check out the new wave of luxury, look at the rules that keep the town running, and finally, talk about investing and its limits. All right, first up, let's talk about the vibe. What's the real story behind Windermere's reputation? I'll tell you right now, it's about a whole lot more than just big, expensive houses. There's something else going on here. And this quote from a local review just nails it. I love this. It's an upscale town trying to keep a tight rein on progress. See that? It's not just upscale by accident. This is a community that is actively, deliberately protecting its character. And you can see why it's so alluring. I mean, you've got this incredible mix of celebrity residents like Tiger Woods and Shaq, and it's set on the gorgeous Butler Chain of Lakes. Add in a deep history, a very intentional limit on new building, and top it all off with some of the best schools around. That is a powerful combination. But here's the paradox, and this is what makes Windermere so unique. It somehow manages to feel like this quiet, secluded, small town, while being right next door to the absolute powerhouse that is Orlando. And I mean, look at these numbers. You can literally be on your peaceful lakefront dock 1 minute, and just 15 minutes later, you're walking into Walt Disney World. And if you need to get to work downtown or catch a flight, you're only looking at about a 25-minute drive. That's incredible access. So, all that allure, all that convenience, how does that translate into cold, hard cash? Let's talk money. What does it actually cost to get into this very exclusive community? Well, the price of admission is steep. The median home costs nearly $700,000. That's way above the national average, and it really sets a clear financial bar for getting into this market. And to really put that number in perspective, let's compare it to Winter Park, another really sought-after city nearby. Even compared to them, Windermere homes cost over 41% more. That is a massive, massive premium. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, it's just super expensive. But hold on, because that high price tag doesn't tell the whole story. There's a really surprising financial perk for homeowners once you're actually in the club. And here it is. This is the secret weapon. Just look at these property tax rates. Windermere's proposed rate is the lowest on this list. By a lot. It's way lower than Winter Park and almost half of what you'd pay in Orlando. That's a huge financial incentive that really adds up over the years. So you've got this insane demand and a really unique financial picture. So what's next? What does the future of luxury living even look like in a place that's already at the top? Well, we can get a pretty clear answer by looking at new developments like Saddlecrest from Toll Brothers. This place is basically a perfect case study in how the high-end market is evolving. Yeah, this is not your average subdivision, it's an enclave. We're talking only 41 homes on massive half-acre lots, with direct access to the lake. And the price? We're starting at $2.3 million. This is built from the ground up for that ultra-luxury buyer. But look, you can't have this kind of super high-end growth without challenges. You need the infrastructure to match. So that brings us to the next logical question. How is the town actually managing all of this? So this document you're looking at, it might seem a little boring, but it's actually fascinating. It's a request to the state for funding, and it proves that the town is being proactive. They're trying to solve problems before they become huge headaches. And the problem is real. This one intersection is already running at 75% over capacity. So they're not just patching it up, they're planning a complete overhaul, roundabout and all, to make sure the town's infrastructure can handle the growth. Okay. Last but definitely not least, let's talk to the investors. If you're looking at Windermere as a pure investment, not just a place to live, there are some really critical rules you have to know about. And for a lot of investors, this is the million-dollar question. It's so close to Disney, and Airbnb seems like a slam dunk, right? Well, the answer is complicated. It's not a simple yes or no. So here's the deal, and this is where people get tripped up. The state of Florida has a system for licensing short-term rentals, that's true. But what really matters is the local county rule. And Orange County's ordinance is crystal clear. No short-term rentals in single-family areas like Windermere. period. So, for an investor, this is a major risk. Yeah, a lot of the enforcement comes from neighbor complaints, but if you get caught, you could be looking at fines up to $1,000 per day. That kind of penalty will wipe out any profit you could ever hope to make.
So when you put all the pieces together, you see that Windermere isn't what it is by accident. It's a carefully curated formula. It's this amazing blend of lifestyle, nature, and valuable real estate, all wrapped in a protective layer of rules designed to keep it exclusive.
Which really leaves us with the final question for anyone thinking about buying here. It's not just about what it costs to get in. It's about whether that protected, long-term exclusivity is worth the price. And for anyone who's serious about answering that, working with an expert like Bernard Jackson is pretty much essential to navigating this one-of-a-kind market.